There are four things, at least four things that we need to be looking at when we're looking at the lower end market in the Villages real estate market right now. Glenn Stein, Realty Executives here. Hope you're doing well. BuySellTheVillages.com is our website. And we're going to be talking about the lower end of the marketplace, the real estate market. It's June 11th, 2021. It's been a long journey since the beginning of COVID. I feel like we're at the end of the year because it's been about, 15 months? Seems like about 15, 16 months since COVID started last year. Many places around the country are opening up, and I think it's helpful and healthy, hopefully, for everybody. I'm noticing that a lot of people that I'm coaching with the Tom Ferry organization that have been, I wouldn't say on lockdown, but limited exposure to the public, that are getting more exposure, and people are having events around the country. I think that's very helpful for people mentally. We're seeing that, and I'm noticing that. I'm asking people questions about it, and they're feeling very positive about things. That's also, in a very indirect way, I think that's also impacting a little bit, or will be an impact on the real estate markets around the country, but real estate markets specifically here in Central Florida, whether Ocala, Bellevue, Wildwood, the Villages. Because what we're seeing is more and more people they're going out and about, they're going to events, they're going on vacation, they're doing some things. So I think that's impacting what's happening, and people are maybe they're not paying attention to real estate, maybe they're not going to buy for the moment. But for the time being, I think there's a couple of things that we need to see. Specifically, the 7-day numbers right now, and I'll pull that up for us in a minute. So we're going to go over that. It seems to be a little bit more the same. I think we saw a little bit more properties, some more properties come on the market. I did want to share with you. Let's cover this first, and then we'll cover the 7-day numbers. When we're talking about the lower end of the marketplace in the Villages, typically, over the years, we've seen some appreciation in the Villages, but not a lot of appreciation. In fact, we're seeing more appreciation over the last, let's say, 2 to 3 years outside of the Villages in the non-55 plus communities. And that's for there's a couple of reasons why that's been taking place. The first thing is that, typically in the Villages, you're mostly over 55. The other communities around the Villages, whether it's Summer Glen, Stonecrest, Del Webb Golf and Country Club, that's up 441 just north of the Villages, or it's going to be a place like Spruce Creek South. There are communities like that for the longest time, they're snowbound. And yes, we're going to talk about appreciation in a minute for sure. Pretty much, there's an attrition rate. There's going to be people that are retiring, and then they stay here for 5 to 10, 15, 20 years. They may pass away, unfortunately. They might have some health issues, need to get close to the family. But a lot of the movement here is not because of that. The movement here is because they buy one home, and then they get tired of that and want to upsize or downsize, or maybe they want a different view. So I think you're seeing all kinds of things happening in communities like this. But traditionally, because of the attrition rate, because of people's age, most of the appreciation has been outside of these 55 plus communities. And because you've got more supply than demand. For the last couple of years, we've seen much more demand than supply outside of the Villages. We saw a lot of that. So the prices went up pretty rapidly over the last 2 to 3 years, and especially this year has gone up a lot. And I would tell you that the appreciation outside of the Villages in the non-55 plus communities have gone straight through the roof, more appreciation than in the Villages, even this year. Now, we are in the midst of probably the greatest appreciation in the middle of the Villages, and I want to dissect that a little bit, and we're going to dissect that more in future videos. But to answer your question, Snowbound, so yes, appreciation is going to continue, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. And will it depreciate now? No, I think it's going to go up. For now, like long term, is it going to go up like forever? Of course not. There's a peak, I believe, based on supply and demand. that we've been undervalued and we've just been undervalued everywhere in Florida for a number of reasons. Whether you agree with them or not, I don't know that it's relative that you agree with me, but if it continues to hold, then it's going to be fact, and then it is what it is, of course. But definitely appreciation is, I think, is going to continue, and I'm going to share with you why. Okay, I'm going to do a share screen with you so you can actually see and give you an idea of what exactly we're looking at. Okay, so let's do this. So this is actually the MLS. This is our MLS right now. Literally, and this is not the entire villages, but this is a good portion of the villages, probably about 80%, 85% of the villages on MLS. So this is what's active right now. Give you an idea, like under 300,000, there's only 25 properties to choose from at the moment. I don't see this for the people. I don't want to scare people. I think some people might be afraid of this number, and I don't think you should be afraid. I think you need to understand the facts. And we're going to look into more of the facts in a minute, because there are new properties that are coming on the market every single day. There's a good stream of properties, and we're seeing anywhere between the mid-20s to the mid-30s as far as every single week how many new properties, resale properties, are coming on the market. They just happen to be going faster. The days on market is fast. And actually, this is going to give us a really good idea. When you're looking at the price ranges, right? Like you're looking at under 200. There's only two that are under 200. Vastly different. Big change here. Typically in the past, we've seen, at least 20 to 25 properties that would be under 200. Now, just 200 to 300. You're seeing here about 24, 23 properties under 300. But when we're talking about the lower end of the marketplace, non-mobile home, okay, there's a couple of manufactured homes. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath villa. There's a 2-2 courtyard villa, or a patio villa rather. And then you're going to have throughout this range here between 200 and all the way to 250. You might have an Austin model. There might be Amarillos are definitely over 250 now. Where Amarillos you might have found it in the 225 to 250 range. No longer. It's going to be in the 250 plus range. I believe, my prediction based on what I'm seeing here, and it's not me driving the price up, so please don't believe that. I'm just looking at the tea leaves, so to speak, and this is the tea leaves here on MLS. Basically, this is demand driving up price. And we're seeing approximately 2 to 3 offers per house on the average, sometimes more, sometimes less. And the evidence is going to be really evident in a minute. What you're looking at is, I believe that the patio villas are going to be, and there's a couple, there's probably 3 or 4 here, but with the competition, with the demand for them, I think you're soon going to see them in the 250 range. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I've got a couple of agents calling me, so that's my job, by the way. I'm the broker here at Realty Executive, so people will call me. Agents, clients, coaching clients will call me for advice and ask me what's going on and how should I navigate through a particular deal, which sometimes I'm sharing that type of information with you. But to give you an idea, let's look at the active days right here. You're looking at active days on the market, right? Current days on the market, 8, 18, 0. It just came on the market, 11, 7, 2, 2, 2, 0. This one's been on the market for a bit, 41 days, which in the past, 41 days would have been the average, but no longer. Like in Marion County, the average used to be 60 to 90 days. There's only one property here that's been on the market for 91 days. Look at this, from 187,000 to 300,000, we've got 3 properties over 40 days. The rest of them, the majority of those, are under 20. So that gives you an idea of exactly what's happening in the market today. Okay. Also want to give you a little bit of news on what's available. This tells you what's available under 300. I did a little bit of search on the Villages website, the developer website, just to find out what is available on their site, which is 63 new construction homes available, 70 resales. 7 under 200,000, 11 between 200,000 and 300,000, and 22 between 300 and 500, just to give you an idea. Okay. So I also want to show you this. The last thing I want to show you on the share screen, and then we'll talk about some other things as well, is well, actually, I don't have to share this. Basically, you're looking at 30 new listings, 3 price increases, 5 price decreases, which is actually a dramatic change from what we saw last year during COVID. Lots of price decreases or price reductions, and 8 back on the market, which basically means they were pending and now they're back on the market because of something, maybe home inspection or some other, maybe buyer got cold feet. 59 sold or closed properties in the last 7 days, and 56 pending properties or under contract, meaning someone was interested in the property. There were offers involved, and then all of a sudden someone wanted to buy it. So 30 and 56 are the 2 key numbers. And that's what I'm advocating, for people that are interested, wherever you are, by the way, wherever you are, if you're buying, if you're selling, doesn't matter what market you're in, have your realtor understand the 7-day numbers. You're trying to decide who to use and hire. Find someone that understands the temperature of the marketplace, and for them to know, for them to say just, oh, the market's hot, it's crazy, it's bananas, we're getting offers, it's interest rates are low, that's not enough. Everybody knows that. Find someone that's absolutely going to know what's going on in the community, and the 7-day numbers are one of those factors, one of those barometers that you need to look at. And if you don't ask that, then you're not going to know, okay, does this person really understand the marketplace? Like we've talked about this, and if you've watched some of my videos from back last year, you'll see the numbers, and you'll be able to get a historical perspective as to what's going on. You'll be able to tell, all right, this is what's happened. Like the market basically went down during COVID, and then it picked up, and then we've been ramping up since June and July last year, and really taking off from the beginning of this year. And all the 7-day numbers, I've there's a historical account of that if you actually watch some of the videos behind the scenes. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to this channel so that way you can get notified, because I'm putting a lot of really good content and good value that would help you, when you're buying and selling. So 30 and 56 are the numbers. New properties on the market that were never on the market before. 56 for properties that went under contract. Still, there is a deficit there. The good news is a little bit less. I can't believe I'm saying this. Some less properties, slightly less under contract, and more properties coming on the marketplace. Once that shifts, and one day it will, right? Just like it shifted in January, then we're going to see a little bit of plateauing. I don't see a drop off. I don't see a housing crash. I don't see a housing bubble at this moment. There's no indication, but it does scare people. I think what's happening is when there's a little bit of scarcity and the prices are going up, there's a little bit of scarcity there, and I think people tend to panic. There's no reason to panic, right? Like, goodness gracious, don't panic. There's always a house for everybody. Just a matter of time. Find somebody that can find properties that are off-market properties too, and we have access to those because we know a lot of the people are going to be selling over the next couple of months. We have a beat on that. A lot of our agents do. Okay. Snowbound asking, new patio bills go for $250 with a bond. Yes, it's absolutely like, wow. But here's the thing. It's like I'm talking to experienced people and people maybe that have lived in our community. For somebody who's never been here, like, okay, well, that's what the price is. It's normal. But we've been here, we know what the prices used to be, so we think it's crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, it's out of control, and like all of that. The reality is, I don't think it is. I think it's just a matter of a different perspective. We've got more demand. Yeah, actually, we have a couple of, thanks for that. We have a couple of rentals. We have 3 or 4 rentals available. So for people that are interested in renting, because that is the thing, let's say you can't find what you're looking for, call our office. We do have some rentals available right now, some for season, some for long term. And we could use, by the way, we could always, if you're thinking about renting out your home, we really do need more inventory for that reason. And certainly we'll take care of you. Our office number is 352 753 7500. 352 753 7500 is the office number. You can talk to either Carrie or Gladys, property manager. And of course, if you have questions about the marketplace, call me, right? 352-572-3796, 352-572-3796. So please connect with me. We're going to have, and I know of 1 or 2 properties that are going to be coming available for rent. I know of about 6 or 7 properties that haven't hit the market yet, that are not on MLS yet, that are going to be coming on the market. So if you have an interest in that, please connect with us, because that's coming. Those are upcoming, because people have to do some things. They're cleaning up, or maybe they're repairing, or maybe they're just not ready to move yet. There's all the above in all areas, by the way. South of 44, south of the Turnpike, north of 466, in between the sixes, between 466 and 466A. South of 466A, I know of all these properties that are available, whether they're close to Sumter Landing or close to Spanish Springs or close to Brownwood, or, and all models, whether it's an Iris, a Lantana, Gardenia, Amarillos and patio villas, courtyard villas. There's all kinds of things that are coming on the market. We have them available now, or they're going to be coming on the market. The big thing is the demand, which, by the way, is actually very unique for right now, because the demand is usually a little bit less. And I've said this before, that typically June and July, our closings have been, at a record pace, or in the past, June or July. It's not usually both. One of those months usually is the highest closing month in the company, which might be a little bit surprising. And people think, oh, it's hot in Florida, that, this is a seasonal place. For many years, that was the case, where season was the time to sell your home. Not so much recently, because we've become a well-rounded community, people living here full time. But June or July have been our record-setting month, right? Usually the top month out of all the months. It doesn't matter what month. You can, January, February, March, April, it didn't matter. Would beat those months. But here's the but. The but is that typically traffic would be down at open house. So that would be a thing. Traffic would be down, but we're seeing increased traffic, much more traffic than normal in a typical June or July. And there are some investors, by the way, but typically the people that are buying the homes here in the villages are not necessarily investors, they're end users. So a lot of this is pent up demand from, and we'll talk more about this in future weeks, pent up demand from last year. So yes, as far as renting, there are people that are really looking to find some places. Yeah. If you have some potential renters, have them contact us. And I'm not adverse to this. One thing I do tell people, and this may sound strange, I'm really all about. Notice I don't like to promote. I don't do a lot of promotion on this. I mean, maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe you have a different thought that I'm always promoting. I'm really here to provide value. And if you want to use us, that's fabulous. If you don't, that's okay. But I will say that, look, if you are a tenant, or if you know someone that wants to rent, I normally recommend talking to all of the real estate companies in the area, like all the real estate companies. So, we've been number one in the villages for, we've been here since 2004, the number one MLS company in the villages since our inception, like 2004. And one of these days I'll tell the story on YouTube, but whether you're going to use the second company or the third company or the fourth company in the villages, and you're looking for a rental, I recommend, like, everybody has a handful of rentals out there. So I usually recommend that when you're looking for a rental, when you're interested in buying or selling, obviously find a company, pinpoint a company, and then pinpoint a realtor that really knows what they're doing, right? That understands the marketplace. So that's one of those things. So I'll definitely I'll definitely talk more about that in future weeks. That's pretty much what I have. We talked about a lot. I can't believe I spoke for 20 minutes. There was a lot to unravel today. So if you have questions, you know where to find me. Glenn Stein Realty Executives. Hope everybody has a fabulous, fabulous week. I don't even know, June 11th, I think it's Father's Day coming up. So all the fathers, happy Father's Day. I think it's this weekend. So if it's not, then next weekend, have a great Father's Day. Okay. All right. Everybody take care.